So now breaking this down, family, we know that entities exist physically and in their and I don't want to say unphysically, physically and interdimensionally, which is light. We are light entities. So now breaking this down, before I end this and I break down the fifth dimension and its importance, I'm gonna break this down. Now we understand that, let's just say we're gonna draw our sun, right? Us. We got the earth, E for earth, and then we got another planet, Venus, Mercury, Mars, da 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 da. I don't feel like going all around the other planets. I don't want to waste time. Okay, so we have our planets. Right. So we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Pluto. Okay, so now we have our planets and we have our solar system, right? And the size of our planet allows for certain molecules and elements to combine to create certain physical compositions for the soul, because we want to have the creator, spiral, and then its extension, which is the soul. All of these are souls, S, and SP for spiral. So now all of these souls travel. See these souls coming from the universe? The universe, a soul is just an extension of the spiral, which travels to different planets in order to inhabit different bodies, which are governed by different suns, in order to experience reality in different ways. So now let's just say your soul was on Earth and you were a black person, a melanated person. Now we know that the stars are just like navigational systems for the soul to travel. It's like maps, like when you're on a highway and it says get off here. Certain constellations just say get off here. There are gateways to certain galaxies. Like we know that Orion's belt is the gateway to the 19th galaxy. So let's just say we wanted to go, let's just use the 25th galaxy, the 25th galaxy allegory again. And we wanted to go to the 25th galaxy where the sun was 5 times ours. Then that means everything over there will be 5 times ours. So now let's just say if they had a planet that was just like Earth, it's 5 times ours. So the physical bodies or shells on this planet, along with the food, the colors, and everything else that has to do with this galaxy, is different from ours. So in order for the creator to experience itself in a different form, your soul, S, will simply, during reincarnation, say, okay, well, I had my fun in the 19th galaxy, the 18th galaxy, which is where we are. So let me travel my soul self over here and come to this planet and reincarnate through birth in the physical body of however the hell it may look over here. So stop being caught on the physical realm, because something appears different. It is still connected through the creator. We are all one. We just are experiencing pieces or extensions of ourselves through different physical appearances. Now, when you hear me say that, I know somebody deep down in their heart want to say, oh, Pharaoh, if that's the case, the Caucasian is like that. Hell no. And why do I say hell no? Because melanin. Any entity that exists on any planet contains melanin. Even reptilians contain melanin. The green in them is a form of carbon. A Caucasian is not naturally created. A Caucasian, the vehicle, the body of a Caucasian, is not a natural creation of the universe. The Caucasian has only been here for 6,101 years from today. The Caucasian is a genetically modified organism created to be inhabited by negative entities or spirits. The Caucasian, remember, I broke down the sun. Melanin is condensed sunlight. The sun creates melanin. It doesn't create Caucasian. It doesn't create pale. The color white rejects the sun. The Caucasian is not a natural part of the solar system, and that is why the solar system naturally destroys him. That is why the sunlight naturally burns and kills them and gives them cancer, because they're not a natural part of phenomena. So the physical vehicle that we have conceptualized as a white woman or white man, aka a Caucasian or European, is not a natural part of the garden of life. Just like a GMO fruit is not a natural part of your garden, the Caucasian is not a natural part of this planet. So now, ending this bill, breaking down the fifth dimension. First, we want to go into the difference. And if you go watch my video, family, 76 trillion year history of the black race part 4, I break down this in a different light, how the Bible is based off astrology. So first we want to get past word semantics. Zodiac and constellation. What is the difference between the zodiacs and the constellations? A constellation is a group or body of stars. Because remember, every star is the sun. So a constellation is a group or a body of stars which form a particular pattern. A zodiac is a group or body of stars which form a particular pattern, but the sun passes through. So the difference between the zodiac and a constellation is our sun and us traveling around the zodiac signs. Us traveling around the galaxy don't pass through certain constellations. We only pass through, don't pass through most constellations. We only pass through certain ones. And the certain constellations that we pass through are called the zodiacs. And there are 12 constellations or 12 zodiacs that we pass through yearly as we travel our 25,160 years around the galaxy. So right now we are at 15,102 years around the galaxy. That puts us in the range of the Aquarius constellation, aka that body of stars, aka different suns. Now, why is this important? Because this entire build I've been breaking down how the sun, depending upon its size, governs your molecular structure and how you're going to be composed. Now, our sun is not. And matter of fact, y'all go on YouTube while y'all watching this or after and type in, I believe I typed in, the sun travels around the universe, or the sun does not stand still. It's a little video. You're going to know when you find the video because it's like 2 minutes and 30-something seconds. And it's somebody actually used a computer-generated animation to show you how the sun is pulling the planets so that you can have a better mental perspective. But now, using minds, the sun, the planets do not revolve around the sun. The sun actually pulls the planets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's pulling them. And I'm going to draw a little force field to show you that the sun is going. So these are the 9 planets, and this is the sun traveling this way. And the force of the sun as it is vortexing, because to rotate means if the planets rotated around the sun, it would mean that the sun was at a central point not moving, and the planets were in motion around a single object on an axis. That is rotation. The sun is in a vortex. A vortex is a liquid or solid mass body or gas body pulling other mass bodies along with it as it travels. So we are in a vortex. We are not in a rotation in regards to our solar system. So now as the sun is pulling these planets, they're all switching niches like this. They're cyphering, they're spiraling. And planet Earth, which is the third planet from the sun, let's just make a planet up. Let's say this is Earth, this is Mercury, and this is Venus. Planet Earth, during this vortex, and Venus is actually getting ready to switch niches. So it's going to seem like the planet Earth is second from the sun instead of third now. But why else is this important? Because all these little stars are actually are actually other suns. So let's just draw 4 so we don't do too much. And this constellation, due to it being the way it's configured, will be called the Aquarian constellation. So why is this important? Because as our sun is traveling into the Aquarian constellation, you have different suns over here of different goddamn sizes. And why is this important? It's because as we come into the prominence or the frequencies being emitted by these suns, they are going to change our molecular structure upon their sunlight hitting and interacting with our melanated bodies. Why? Because sunlight gives off intelligence, and the intelligence being emitted by the creator of the universe for these suns are not only going to help. The planet Earth is heating up because it's coming into the second niche of the sun in our solar system is doing a self-cleanse because the planet Earth is alive. It has a radio frequency of 8.7, and it knows that there's an entity, aka a Caucasian, living on it that does not belong, and is heating itself up in order to purge. Just like when you take a shower, you use hot water. When you wash dishes, you use hot water. You use heat to clean. The planet Earth is going to use heat to clean itself, and it knows that melanated beings belong on it, so the heat is not going to affect us so long that we're in a healthy alkaline state. Which another reason why, like I said, the Caucasian uses foods and media to keep us vibrating low earlier. The foods that we eat are not alkaline, so they don't allow us to electrify ourselves, or our melanin is not healthy. So when the sun heats up, we are going to burn along with him because our melanin will not be activated because we haven't been feeding it the natural foods. So now getting back on point. Not only is the Earth coming into its second niche and switching places with Venus and heating up for the Earth to cleanse itself from our sun, but these suns, due to the frequencies they give off, which are different from ours, due to their all different electromagnetic spectrums, they are going to change the molecular structure of us as we know it, and we are going to become less dense, and the frequencies emitted within the Aquarian age are not as dense as ours, and they are what you call fifth dimensional. Remember earlier I drew the different density levels. Due to whatever frequency you vibrate, is the determiner, or the determinee, if that's a word, now I'm using it, of your density level. So the Aquarian age, the constellation of stars over here vibrate at such a high frequency that we become less dense. Now why is this important? Melanin, or carbon, we should say, carbon-12, on our periodic elements table. Periodic elements chart. This is the sixth element. Carbon-12 is the sixth element on our periodic element chart. What is it comprised of? 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. Now, we know that sunlight causes ionization. Long story short, to keep this simple so that people can relate, photons, pure light energy, causes atoms to become radioactive, aka unstable. When something is radioactive, that just means it has too much energy and it becomes unstable. In order for an atom to stabilize itself, it either receives an electron from the outer shell of another atom, or it gives an electron off. And these are how elements are created. So let's just say when you read the periodic elements chart, just so you know, as you're going from left to right, depending on which chart you're reading, as you're going from left to right, these niches are just telling you how many electrons are in the outer shell. So when you get to the row that says 6, every element going down that row has 6 electrons. So now if it was to give off an electron and have 5, then you just go one row back and you will see what that element would become. So you can see how the elements built on themselves in order to create other elements, such as the first element in the in existence. I want to say, if I'm not confusing the places with hydrogen and helium, if I am, correct me, but I want to say the first element is helium. Then when it adds on another proton to itself and another electron to itself, it becomes hydrogen. And then when it adds on again, it becomes the next element, till it adds on to itself 6 times, it becomes carbon. So if you were to subtract one of those electrons, it will become the element it was before. So now, our sunlight is the sole determiner of what these elements become. Now, why is this important? Because as we come into the Aquarian age, the sunlight and the frequencies emitted over there is changing our molecular structure from carbon-12 to what we know as carbon-7. And the sunlight over here, the frequency is going to change us to carbon-7, which is a lighter density. Why? Because carbon-7 has 6 protons just like carbon-12, 6 electrons just like carbon-12, but it only has 1 neutron. So what does this tell us? The outer shell of carbon-7 still has 6 electrons, it still has 6 protons, but it only has 1 neutron, versus carbon-12, which has 6 neutrons. So carbon-7 only has 1 neutron versus carbon-12, which has 6 neutrons. Now, clearly, mathematics will see that 6 minus 5 equals 1. So, the frequency of the Aquarian age in that body of stars causes us to lose 5 neutrons. So now what does this tell us? When you subtract anything, you're taking away. When you take away 5 neutrons, you're taking away the density or the atomic weight of that atom. So now what does this tell us? The molecular structure within any life that exists within this specific part of the galaxy or zodiac system is lighter in density. So now you just apply that to the molecular structure of the entities on Earth that are entering this, and we can see it happening today. The Earth is heating up and we are becoming lighter in density. We are vibrating higher. And the Caucasian's job is to keep us vibrating low through the food he feeds us, or in the well, I don't even want to say feeds. The food he tricks us into eating, and the media he tricks us and captivates our minds on watching. Now what the Caucasian is trying to do is he's trying to stop the inevitable, which is the carbon change or molecular change. I mean, it's the change in the molecular structure of melanated entities to our lighter form. But what he's going to do is he knows he can't stop it, so he's tricking you into sacrificing yourself by eating bad foods and watching bad things. So now as we go from this 3rd dimension, which is just a certain level of density, to the 5th dimension, which is a lighter level of, the 3rd dimension, which is a heavier level of density, and the 5th dimension, which is a lighter level of density, we become lighter. But if you're eating bad foods over here, now in this age, and you're watching bad things on TV, you're not having your chakras in tune with the suns to receive their frequency to be able to match your higher self. So now what you're going to do is you're going to crash and burn and become trapped here, just like his ass, because you didn't prepare to get here. So the point of this build, family, was to let y'all know we are light entities that exist within these physical shells. And you don't want to become trapped within these physical shells because you forgot that you are greater than what you see. So do not become captivated by religion. Do not become captivated by Cheetos. And do not become captivated by the Caucasian media such as BET and these Illuminati rappers. Because the point of these secret societies is to keep your knowledge itself from you. That is it. So now with that being said, family, we understand who the enemy really is, who the Caucasian in cahoots with, what the true agenda against black people is, why the Caucasian has created money. He created money so that he can create fake living circumstances which naturally wouldn't exist otherwise in order to sacrifice our energy to these entities that he is being used as a pawn for. And now that he knows that his time has come, he is just trying to influence us to continue to self-destruct so that we can suffer his fate. And as far as everybody asking me, because I mean, as far as you wanting to ask me, because I know the next question in your head, if you just use a common sense, would be, Pharaoh, what do we do about reptilians or entities that the Caucasian in cahoots with? You have what you call galactic law. The reptilians are now in vacation of this planet. They know because who you could say, if we were to say the entities on our side, melanated entities who look just like us, who we conceptualize the Anunnaki, have now returned. And the Caucasian must leave this planet. And the reptilians also must vacate this planet because they're not supposed to be here in the first place for breaking galactic law. So now you see all these white people trying to go on the ground, they're trying to go to the moon, they're trying to go everywhere but get the hell off this planet. That's because they know that their time is up. So now when it comes to black people, what we need to be doing now is cleansing ourselves mentally and spiritually of the mental and spiritual viruses being inflicted upon us by the Caucasians, such as white supremacy and religion. And we damn sure need to be cleansing physically of these foods that we've been eating. So that all we have to do is so that we can become in contact with these entities that have been trying to or in contact with us for thousands of years, as well as make this dimensional shift. It's that simple. Now, my advice to y'all family is don't over worry yourself with this information. Just go with the flow because it's already in your favor. The universe is already in your favor. I broke it down how radio waves, our thought waves, the universe is thinking for you. It's your higher self. It's your higher level of thought. The mind has chambers. You have your personal mind. We all have a collective mind. And then we all have a universal mind. God is the universal mind. So the universal mind already is thinking in what is best for you. You just have to stop going with the flow. Everybody in life, whoever wanted something, know that the opportunity always presents itself. You might not have seen it, or you might have seen it and negated to take it, but you can never deny that it didn't present itself. So with that being said, family, the opportunity is here. Do not let it pass you by. I love y'all. Peace.